One. Hello there, and welcome to Ilum Radio. We're your hosts, David Menace, and my favorite cosplayer and good friend, Millie. How you doing tonight, Millie?
Oh, great. I am full of energy.
Um,
Because I did a troop this weekend.
yeah, you did.
Good. Yep. So, and I have another one this upcoming weekend. It's going to be great. So.
And I think you have a lot of energy
Busy.
because we're starting with some news tonight.
Yes.
Am I right?
Well, yes, we are.
And what news do you got for us here, Millie?
So as of this recording, as of Monday the 30th. Wow, oh my God, it's the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
As of Monday, January 30th, Star Wars Celebration has announced more guests for the convention.
Mm-hmm. FOMO is
Celebration Europe. Yep, FOMO is real. Travel to Europe is expensive in general, so no go for both of us, unfortunately, but hopefully next year it will be in Orlando, slightly closer
Mm-hmm.
and slightly more cheaper to fly to. And yeah, so do we want to talk about the guests that's going to be
Yes.
that were announced?
Absolutely.
First on the list, I mean, no brainer. Hayden Christensen is attending.
Which makes sense, Obi-Wan and stuff, so.
Dennis Lawson
Really?
played Wedge Antilles in the original trilogy and Rise of Skywalker. I will not forget Wedge Antilles showing up in Rise of Skywalker because, yeah, he showed up one scene, Battle of Exegol, badass, was not expecting him. He was in the book that was a prequel to Rise of Skywalker, but I won't get into that. Dennis Lawson, who is Ewan McGregor's uncle,
Yep.
is going to Celebration, which means possibly, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I have a feeling Ewan might show up too.
I mean, it's happening in the UK, you know, and
Exactly.
and Scotland's
And
not
Dennis
that far
is
away,
like,
so.
No. And I also want to say this because of another specific guest that got announced that I honestly want them to meet because they've never met they've never even met at all, and I will explain this when we get there. So,
Okay.
Next guest, Mads Mikkelsen.
No shit. Okay. Mads Mikkelsen. All right.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Huh.
Now, remember our Andor theory, our Andor season 2 theory, where Galen Erso shows up. What if?
Yeah.
What if he's not only there for autographs and pictures?
You think he's gonna announce? They're gonna announce like him gonna be in the second season. So.
This is me putting on my con makeup early. I don't want to. I mean,
Honestly, so.
it's happened before. Like Hayden at Celebration, and Hayden and Ewan at Celebration and stuff like that. And oh my God, yeah, okay.
I could. Yes, because one. The way, literally, the last scene in Andor was them building the Death Star, right?
Exactly.
You know, like Andor did know what he looked like in Rogue One, so there's that, and there's no reason why he wouldn't know everything there's to know about him. Do they meet? I'm not sure, but I could.
I mean, who knows? I mean.
I don't know. I just feel like it would just change a little bit too much for me if they met. Like that's like because I think the thing I love about like Star Wars, especially now, is the galaxy's big enough where all this shit could happen and no one can interact with each other. And I wouldn't if they didn't meet each other at all. They just like pass by each other, kind of like what they did in the Clone Wars with Grievous and Anakin. Like they just passed by each other. They never fucking met. They were always missing each other.
Yeah.
Then
It's like that one meme where like another car passes through.
Oh yeah,
and
from
from like Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen Umbrella Academy, but I've seen the memes, and yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
I think
so.
everyone has seen by this point seen that meme. But yeah,
But yeah, have my suspicions, and yeah, like I said, I doubt it's gonna happen, but it's a possibility.
I
I'm
could
just
see
putting
it.
it out there.
I could see it honestly. Like
Call this. If I call this, mark my word.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, folks.
Moving on.
Because you're right.
No,
I want to go back to that because you're right. Like he's never been, as far as I know.
He's never been to a con.
Yeah, he's never been to a fucking celebration, like or a con. You're right.
Or a con in general.
So why is he going to this? You're right.
Bro, I'm telling you. Anyways.
So moving on.
All right. Next guest. Katie Sackhoff, of course.
Of course.
I mean, she's the most obvious because she has been to a lot of cons and she plays Bo-Katan in both Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian. Yeah, so this guest like is pretty obvious. Like Katie Sackhoff, really obvious. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to say, but pretty cool. Like I think she's been to a celebration before. I think a long time ago.
Maybe.
I mean, she was in Clone Wars, so she has to have been.
Yeah.
Speaking of Clone Wars, James Arnold Taylor.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, and
James Arnold Taylor.
Go ahead.
So, all right, going back to my Dennis Lawson point. If Dennis Lawson is there, then there's a possibility that Ewan McGregor will be there.
Right.
If he gets announced, then both Ewan McGregor and James Arnold Taylor will be at the same con. And eventually they're going to have to meet because, okay, Hayden Christensen and Matt Lanter, they both met at Celebration 2017 for the first time.
They did.
And Matt Lanter was already announced previously, like the first round of guests. That's why I'm not bringing Matt Lanter up this time around because he was announced a while ago, aka last week. So yeah, I honestly hope that they meet again. But I also want James Arnold Taylor and Ewan McGregor to meet because they've never met before. Because I remember watching an interview with James Arnold Taylor and someone was like, "Oh, have you ever met Ewan McGregor in person?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "How in the world?" So I really hope that if Ewan McGregor gets announced that, they both meet finally. And there will be memes of like, or there will be redraws of like, Clone Wars Obi-Wan and like Episode 3 Obi-Wan together, or like Kenobi Obi-Wan or whatever, and the internet will explode. So.
Can you imagine if they bring them both on stage and they both at the same time just do the hello there?
I think that will break the internet as well as I think everyone will lose their mind. Like when Hayden said, "This is when the fun begins" at Celebration.
Yep.
Anaheim. That level of like excitement, I feel like. Imagine just like an Obi-Wan panel with just those two, and then both Hayden and Matt Lanter just crashed panel. That would be an epic panel.
I just want them to go into the voices and the accents, like hello there, hello there, hello there, hello there, Anakin, and just they both yell at Hayden Christensen, Anakin.
Anyway. Let's see. Yes, James Arnold Taylor, really cool. And
so
yeah.
Here's my question about them announcing Katie Sackhoff, James Arnold Taylor, people that we know it's going to be a no-brainer they're going to be there, right? Like James Arnold Taylor, I think he goes like every single year.
Yes.
So they really don't have to make a big announcement for him. And this is just me stretching another Dave stretch theory. So, one, Katie Sackhoff is going, and we know she's going most likely because obviously she's going to be in season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yep.
However, by the time Star Wars Celebration gets here, Mandalorian will already be out, and we would have seen all the episodes. So there's really nothing
Yes.
to be there to promote. What if it's for another type of Mandalorian series spin-off spin-off of the Mandalorian, but it's like the Battle of Mandalore. And either A, it's going to be animated, so she'll be older Bo-Katan. You see where I'm going with this?
Okay.
And that's why we have James Arnold Taylor. He's going to be there, and he's announced.
And Matt Lanner was also announced.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
So,
and D. Bradley Baker.
So is it possible we'll get another animated series having to do with like a Battle of Mandalore? You know, them trying to like win back and unite like Mandalore after the events of the Mandalorian season 3, or they're gonna do a live action type of thing. It's just weird they're announcing these people and making a big hubbub when we know the voice actors go like every year.
The fact that Hayden is in like the first round of guests also is really interesting. Like the first few, because like normally like when cons announce, like especially Celebration, when they announce like guests, they announce like probably like the like guests that how do I put this into my own words? Guests that I don't want to say get people less hyped, but like I wonder what they'll announce like at like toward the when the con gets closer to the date. Like what kind of like guests will they announce when it gets closer to the Celebration date in April?
So I just want to see.
They've already announced Hayden and
because Hayden's already a big name.
Hayden is a huge name,
yes.
And so is like most of the people on this list. So, like.
So like I'm looking at like what they announced previously on the 23rd, and it's like Anthony Daniels, obviously.
Yes.
Ashley Eckstein, obviously. She goes to every single one. Like you just said, D. Bradley Baker. Giancarlo Esposito, which is interesting, but I can see him going and having fun doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Indira Varma, who did Tala. And Matt Lanter, you know, like as you said, and also Vivian Lyra Blair, who is baby Leia or younger Leia in Obi-Wan. So
she's been to a few cons before, so
right. So you know, like you're mentioning, you know, they're like as they get closer,
they're all still huge names.
And as they get closer, the names get bigger. So I want to. So someone on Twitter said it. I saw you retweet it. I saw you like it. And I want to just say it here now, just in case of the hoping of it. Daisy Ridley, you know, the announcer, showing up.
Oh my god. Okay, but like if Daisy Ridley gets announced, they better announce like a continuation of like the sequels. And I think that's what the rumored Damon Lindendoff film is, because suspiciously, I think Daisy Ridley is in the area.
Yes.
Around that time. And suspicious. Number 2, rewinding back to the time where she posts a picture of the Yoda statue at Lucasfilm.
All I want is her. I want the big 3 to come back, obviously. Her.
Also, Daisy Ridley expressed interest in returning.
Yes.
It's not like
not
a
possibility.
It's confirmed. It's confirmation.
Like Disney, Lucasfilm.
Same with John Boyega as well. Like
Jon Favreau, if you guys are listening,
no, it was Oscar Isaac, not John Boyega.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac said that
it was Oscar Isaac.
He'd be down to do like Poe Dameron again. So just give us the big 3. Give us Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, and John Boyega.
I don't know if John Boyega's up for it anymore, to be quite honest.
I don't know if they do what little they mentioned in the Lego Star Wars movies or specials about him going around the galaxy looking for other force sensitive like stormtroopers or just force sensitive kids.
And also exploring his own force sensitivity that they've teased.
That would be because then we would get the character that we wanted Finn to be from the sequel trilogy. Like I went in there hoping he'd be a Jedi. You know, they kind of did the bait and switch. We can that we can get into like another time, but like
I feel like it'll end up being another Leia situation where like he's maybe trained to be a Jedi like at an early point in time, but then later on like he has no interest and wants to focus on other things.
possible.
You know what I
Possible.
mean?
But I mean, if they get Daisy Ridley back, and she announces they're going to do a new set of movies or shows, or whatever, based around Rey, doing things around the galaxy, trying to be building a Jedi temple, it'd be dope. It would say "suck it" to all the neckbeards and incels out there.
Yes.
Like, listen, guys.
I will honestly lose my mind if that happens.
Same. Like, listen, guys. We've said we're Star Wars positive, so I want to see it.
And then I'll say, oh no, more Rey costumes to worry about now.
Yeah, your wallet's gonna really feel it.
As someone who's trying to do all of Rey's costumes, this is gonna be interesting. So
I'm gonna hear.
I don't want to worry about it right now, though. I don't want to think about it. So yeah.
Because obviously it's gonna be like when they're announcing all this shit, we'll be sleeping most likely because it'll be.
I hope not.
In England. But I can imagine I'll be in the morning making my breakfast or something, whatever day it is, probably like on a Friday or Saturday.
I hope the big announcements don't happen at like midnight our time. It would be bad.
They might. I mean, it's going to be a weekend, so it's not too terrible. It's not too terrible.
Still, I mean, we'll see how they do things. I don't remember how they announced stuff during Celebration Europe 2016, because that was the last time they were in London, so...
Yeah. I remember being at work when I was still working in retail, closing around 11:30, and getting and my phone exploding because of stuff they were announcing from 2016. So it might be very similar. We'll be seeing stuff late night. But again, it's going to be a weekend. It's going to be fine. It should be okay. I hope. But I'm just hoping to hear that morning. I'm just hoping to hear that morning like a very loud, audible fuck coming from the Boston area because you're like, yes, more costumes, fuck. So.
Well, that means we'd have to record right away to do our reactions and stuff.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out for that weekend. But tonight's episode, we wanted to get through some of get through some of the celebration news, but also geek out about stuff that may happen and, let you guys know we're going to have FOMO because we will not be there. But tonight we're talking about episodes 4 and 5 of The Bad Batch.
As you all know, we kind of skipped out last week because we were pretty busy, so we didn't have time to record our thoughts on episode 4?
Episode 4, Faster.
Episode 4, Faster. One episode I'm actually looking forward to talking about because of two specific people that have voices in this episode, and looking forward to talking about them. So let's jump right into it, I guess.
So I just want to get it out of the way really quick right at the beginning. Obviously they're racing in this, and it's going to be a big race thing they're doing.
Did I call it?
You did call it, but aren't you a little upset that it was not fucking pod racing?
I was a little upset. At the same time, it still reminded me of episode of the Tatooine pod racing. A little slightly or more violent than pod racing,
yes,
but it's still very similar in my opinion.
It just upsets me because it's the second time since we saw pod racing in The Phantom Menace that we could have had it, because in The Last Jedi, when they went to the casino planet, Fudge, what was the name of it?
Canto Bight.
Canto Bight. When they went to Canto Bight, they had the racing, which could have been pod racing, which I was hoping was pod racing when the whole bar was shaking. But no, they were just riding on those animals, like the horses.
Maybe pod racing could just be Tatooine exclusive.
Yeah, but freaking Qui-Gon in The Phantom Menace, they have pod racing on this planet, and I just wish it was pod racing. That's all. That's my rant. That's my rant for the episode. It was a cool episode, but just should have been fucking prom racing. Anyway, so
We'll get it eventually in Mando season 3, hopefully. I mean, they're probably going to go back to Tatooine at some point. I mean, we've seen Pelimoto and her droids in the season 3 trailer. So who knows?
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yep, who knows? So I doubt it, but
I love
we'll
how this episode starts. Basically, I just thought it was funny, and I'm sure someone else made a meme of it. But basically, Echo and Hunter are basically doing an Uber Eats delivery.
Oh, 100%.
They're doing like Nerf
everyone
nuggets.
made a meme of that. Yeah, everyone on Twitter made a meme about that. So when that first came out, that was it was really funny seeing the edits of Hunter and Echo delivering Uber Eats.
Like of
or
all
DoorDash or whatever.
Of all people you could have sent, you sent basically like two of the Bad Batch, like 2/5 of the Bad Batch, I guess, to like.
And the fandom dubs them like the mom and the dad too, so they're like,
yeah,
parents are away. Let's let the uncle and whatever.
Oh my God! Wait.
Babysit them.
So if Hunter's the dad, because obviously
Echo's the mom.
Echo's the mom.
That's how Twitter dubs them, or the internet dubs them.
So I guess Wrecker's like what, the goofy older brother or cousin, I guess. Because Wrecker and Omega get along really well. Because Wrecker just loves kids, so. I don't know, but yeah, of all people, Sid sends them because obviously, I mean, if you think about it, because she's gonna use these 3 to go settle a debt, might as well send those 2 to go off to do their own thing because now she can convince these 3 to go with her to settle a debt and stuff or do a race. So yeah.
And it's a tech-centric episode, which I enjoyed a lot as someone who loves tech, so it's very validating to see.
And I think it's like one of his first episode that's focused on him, yeah?
Yep. Second character-centric focused episode, next to, obviously, Crosshair's episode.
You're right. Yes, you are absolutely right. Like, because you're right. Because in season 1, it was all of them. Pretty much.
It was all of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Makes you wonder how many other character-centered episodes we're going to see.
Maybe.
Because keep in mind, Omega at some point is going to be on Coruscant. So that's probably going to be the Omega-centered episode, most likely.
Yeah, and we don't see anybody else there that we saw in the trailer, so who knows who she's going to be with, if she's by herself, if she snuck off somewhere, if they split off and she somehow got into the Imperial Senate or whatever. I don't know how this is going to all tie into this. That's what I'm most looking forward to, is the Coruscant connection. But people on Twitter were also saying, or on the internet, were also speculating that it might have been Chandrilla, because, like, Chandrilla is also, like, the capital of the New Republic, but, like, I guess I'm thinking about Mando Season 3. I don't know, but... We never see Chandrilla on screen, so...
Not yet, you're right, we haven't.
Only on the book covers.
Huh. Okay, we'll keep that in the back
but
burner.
It's probably Coruscant.
It probably is, but
in the Bad Batch and.
But let's keep it open for Chandrilla, because that would be kind of cool to see somewhere on screen.
I think Chandrilla will most likely show up in Mando Season 3. Now that I think about it, I was probably thinking that. Anyway, it's 100% Coruscant because of the Imperial Senate. So.
Right.
Back to Faster. Eccentric episode. Got 2 new characters and very sus implied Sid backstory.
Yes. So let's
get into that.
Let's talk about the Sid. Well, actually, you want to bring up a couple voice actors in this episode. Yeah?
Yes. Okay. So there's a character there's a new characters. Teo, the
Yep.
droid,
Yep.
who is basically Tech's rival. I'm just gonna say that straight up
Pretty much.
because he is voiced by Ben Schwartz. Now, for those who don't know, Ben Schwartz, most iconic, like, well known for voicing Sonic in the live-action Sonic film. Also voiced Leonardo in the newer version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
No
and Dewey from the 2017 DuckTales. So he's already like a Disney. He's already well known in the Disney circle.
Yeah.
Via DuckTales, but very more obscure fact about Ben Schwartz is that he actually helped voice BB-8 in The Force Awakens. No joke, look it up.
No
I'm not
shit.
even kidding.
I believe
Yeah,
you.
Ben Schwartz and Bill Hader helped voice BB-8. The Force Awakens, specifically. So...
Oh, we are... I'm looking up right now so I can link it.
Yep.
Ben Schwartz. He's one of those guys, I always forget what he looks like until I see, like, his face. Like, oh, yeah!
Yeah. Yeah, him and Bill Hader.
Come on.
But he's not a stranger to Star Wars.
He's not, no. No shit, there it is. Hang on.
Told you so.
Yep, DuckTales. Robot Chicken, nice.
I just... Those four just came up in my head instantly.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to Disney at all. That is pretty cool. Oh, also Stormtrooper uncredited, it looks like, as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I knew that. I forgot about that. He did voice a Stormtrooper. Or played a Stormtrooper. So... When I first heard his voice, I immediately went, is that Ben Schwartz? Because that voice is literally his voice, so... Also, he was on Parks and Rec, so...
That's right,
there
he
were a lot
was.
of Parks and Rec memes.
How?
I was like, yeah.
So who's the other voice actor you wanted to bring up?
Other voice actor, now I forgot the other new character's name, but I know the voice actor very well. Ernie freaking Hudson of Ghostbusters fame.
Wait, who?
Ernie Hudson.
Oh, Ernie. Oh, I know that character. Yeah, the big guy. Fuck, yeah. Holy shit, now it makes sense. Now it makes fucking sense.
Ghostbusters, yes.
Greenie Milegi, that's his name. That's
no.
It's not the big guy?
No. Winston.
No, the character in the new guy we meet in Bad Batch.
Oh, the character name. I thought we were talking about the Ghostbusters character. No, it's in the Wikipedia thing you were looking at, right?
So yeah, it tracks because the big guy had like a very, very familiar voice, but I did not look it up because I'm like, I'm sure it's a regular.
Yeah, I did
voice
not
actor.
recognize Greenie's voice at all. Like, I only recognized Ben Schwartz's voice because his voice is so iconic and unmistakable. So like, it was pretty obvious who it was. Like, Teo, but for Greenie, it was like, nope. Like, I had to look at the credits, like, out of curiosity, and I was like surprised to learn that Ernie Hudson voiced him.
Now you mention it, like Teo, it's like, oh yeah, he is very Sonic, isn't he? You know, gotta go fast. You know,
Slash
Teo's...
Dewey, slash Leo from TMNT.
So he's yeah, that's just him, pretty much. That's it. And yeah, like these races are a bit more violent than
way more violent
than pod
People
racing.
Get killed.
Because pod
Straight
racing,
up.
you just knock each other. This you're actually shooting at each other, and it's like, oh shit.
Even crowd members die.
Yeah. I forgot about
And
that.
the announcer is like, whatever.
Like, it happens. It's all part of the show, all part of the spectator sport.
That's dark for Bad Batch. So far.
So
Saying so far because who knows?
what do you think Sid was up to or did, and how badly is she gonna screw over the Bad Batch?
I don't know, but I'm afraid Fee is going to be involved somehow.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case because I just had an episode with her that we'll talk about after this one specifically. So,
Like, do you think Sid is the reason why Omega ends up on Coruscant and the Bad Batch have to save her?
you think she sends her there, like for order purposes? Like, do you think
So,
her or Fee sends her?
in the first episode of the season, she's like, listen, the Empire is going to be everywhere soon, even here. Like, I cannot keep them out. What if she cuts a deal with the Empire? Like, listen, you guys stay out of here, and I will give you Omega, because I know you guys are looking for her, and they are. And...
This reminds me of Andor so much. This is reminding me of Andor now.
Mm-hmm. And what if she just gives up Omega? Like... I mean, granted, he could have been, Milegi could have been, like, fucking with them. You know what I mean? Maybe she was a piece of shit back in the day, or Grinny, I mean. Like, maybe she was a piece of shit back in the day, Sid, and she's no longer a piece of shit now. But again, we don't know.
It could be the case. I mean... I don't know what else to say about Sid.
It's just, you know...
I'm so conflicted.
Because she's a great character, but it's like... And they really, like, when at the end of the episode, when he says that, when he says, listen, don't trust Sid...
What did she do, though? That's the question. That he's warning the Batch about, like...
It's either...
that involves clones, or...
Either she's done this before, where she had, like, a group of guys or group of, like, mercenaries working for her, and she screwed him over.
Yeah.
Or B, she just screwed over this dude so many times. He's like, listen, this bitch is going to screw you guys over, so just watch yourselves. Because they kind of stuck with it at the end of the episode. They kind of still went with it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully they bring up this plot line again.
Like, it was a cool episode, and, like, Tech really does show that he knows what he's doing. He's a kick-ass racer. He thinks better than a droid, which, honestly, okay, follow me on this. So, the Bad Batch, we're about 6 months outside of the Clone Wars right now, right? They just finished killing clankers and shit. So,
yeah,
we can assume the Bad Batch have no love for droids, like, almost at all, let's say. Especially, humanoid-looking droids. What if Tech is just a little bit biased because Teo's a droid, and he's like, there ain't no droid smarter than me. I have to be better than this droid because we just spent the last X amount of years of our lives, our entire lives actually,
oh boy,
taking out droids.
Tech is not going to get along with 3PO at all.
Right? Because they're the same thing. 3PO and Tech are the same effing thing practically.
3PO knows like 3 million forms of communication and all that, so...
And like 3PO does play with odds in his head, and I guess Tech's a little bit better at playing with odds and stuff, but it's like Tech is like C3PO but with less personality. Like Tech is more like a droid than C3PO is in many ways.
I wouldn't say Tech has no personality per se.
Okay, I would more like 3PO shows more fear than Tech does. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like 3PO is more human in that way, where Tech's like, oh, got a job to do.
Emotional? Like emotional?
Yes. Like 3PO has more emotional range, which is fear, and Tech really just is logic and straightforward, and this is how things are done. And yeah, man, like I think he wanted to do it strictly because he can't have a droid be better than him, honestly. That's how I look at it. That's my whole perspective on the whole thing. So what are your thoughts on Omega just taking this bet to save Sid?
That's so in character of her because she's willing to sacrifice anything for Sid.
Or anybody in her group.
And, well, her and everybody else in the batch.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good episode.
I don't remember what else happened.
That's the
Then
problem.
Teo being dying like twice.
Yes. It's so. I think in many ways we were spoiled by a lot of the live action shows like Obi-Wan and The Mandalorian and Andor, because especially Andor, because every episode has a purpose in Andor.
I mean, who knows? I mean, that Sid plotline could have a purpose down the road.
Fair, right? True. If I feel like it will.
Like, Tech did get more character development.
This is true.
This episode.
It just still felt a little filler.
I just hope that that Sid thing like will continue, like the Sid plotline.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, she's the reason why. I'm just gonna call it right now. She's the reason why Omega ends up on Coruscant.
I can see her make a deal with the Empire somehow, like with the Empire or some bounty hunter that the Empire sends out or something. Maybe it's Hondo. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So
I hope Hondo shows up.
So let's jump into unless there's like anything we missed. Let's jump into episode.
Yeah, let's jump into episode 4.
Yeah, or 5. 4? No, 5. 5. Yeah, 5.
It's episode 5. Yeah, 5. Mixing up numbers.
Numbers we are not good at. But yeah, episode 5, Entombed. So
the Indiana Jones episode.
Right? It really is. So okay, so maybe I missed something. I don't know. But did we know Fee was a pirate when we first met her in like the first episode? Okay. Yeah. So I missed that. Okay.
Yeah. I think Sid mentions that she's like a pirate friend or something, or like an acquaintance and she's, a pirate or whatever.
Because most I remember for her when we first got introduction is 1, she's voiced by Wanda Sykes, which is kick-ass.
Yeah.
And 2,
pretty cool.
She flirted with Tech, which again, a lot of it centering around Tech again, which is interesting.
The fact is, like, this was the next episode after the Tech-centric one is really interesting too.
But yeah, she's a pirate, so that means we have to get involved with Hondo at some point. Like he has to be.
I just want them to meet.
Like
they
so.
Have to meet.
It's Hondo. So either A, there's 3 possibilities when it comes to Hondo. If they meet, they're good friends, and they just fuck with each other, kind of like Han and Lando a little bit here and there. 2, they absolutely despise each other, like absolutely.
I'm sure they'll have like a friendly rivalry. I can see that happening.
That too, or 3 because it's Hondo. They were an item at some point. And now they're kind of like...
Okay, that tracks.
You can't tell me Hondo doesn't try to hook up with anybody. Like, you can't tell me.
I mean, also her flirting with people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. And I love, like, all her stories are just, like, big and grandiose. And even Texas, like, it was Hunter. He's like, it was, like, less than that last time. Now it's even more. Like,
it does kind of remind me of Hondo when she's, like, telling Omega all these stories.
Right?
Oh, I'm thinking. Oh, you're not wrong. Now you're making me think when you say something interesting.
I'm telling you, okay. Like it's gonna be. They either know each other, don't know each. I mean, they have to know each other. That's got to be a thing. There's no way in hell they don't know each other. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way. Like he was a big part of the Clone Wars too. Like no secret there.
And we saw him in Rebels, so like we know he's around.
He lives until the sequel trilogy, like the sequel era.
That's right, because Black Spire, yeah.
Black Spire Outpost.
Yeah.
He's a main character. Oh my god.
I mean, if anyone's gonna live through all this, it's gonna be Hondo.
And Kix.
Like he's like a Teflon
Hondo
dog.
and Kix. Yeah. Kix is still frozen.
That's true.
In time.
Yeah. That's true.
He does. He also lives the sequel trilogy. So, just saying. So, just putting it out there. Not saying Kix, the frozen remains of Kix will show up, but like, I mean, I doubt it. I'm just throwing rocks, and it's probably gonna go nowhere. So.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's Star Wars. Like even the littlest thing goes somewhere, in some way, shape, or
Oh
form.
God.
Um,
True. Yeah.
okay, so again, I know we're jumping around a lot, and I know it was sent in Twitter and stuff, but when they came back with the compass, when Wrecker
Yes.
and Omega came back with the compass, and they went to like the heart of the mountain, did you have any idea it was going to be Zepho related at all?
No, I wasn't even expecting it to be like a huge ass monster, like Godzilla mecha, like a Gundam type monster thing.
Like when they
Oh my
were,
God.
I mean, that looking back at it now, it makes sense. Like everything tracks. Like they went to the planet, and the planet looked like it was like raised, and like the Zepho pretty much destroyed themselves, you know, from like the
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order, and so looking back, it tracks. But I originally thought when they started talking about the ancient technology, they were talking about High Republic. That's where
That was
I
my
thought
thought
it was
too.
going.
Or Old Republic, put that into canon because Revan.
Yeah, it would. It still would.
Uh,
It would make sense.
And Starkiller, the armor in Andor.
Mm-hmm.
Knows where that would fit now in canon.
But like I thought that's where I thought it was
Ugh.
going. But boy, was
Same,
I
but
boy were we
then-
mistaken.
No. I mean, I didn't get the Zepho connection until people on Twitter pointed it out, and then I was like, oh, I see the resemblance.
So funny enough, it was my wife who pointed it out. Jen pointed it out.
Really?
Yes. So and I completely forgot to tell her that she got it right until like now, basically. But so we're
My
watching
God.
it because she loves the Bad Batch. She wants to see Omega. Like she loves Omega.
Mm.
And
Hey, let's go.
and so okay, we're doing the whole Indiana Jones thing, and I'm like, oh, it's High Republic, and then like all of a sudden, like the big monster shoots out and starts walking everywhere, and she's like, I've seen that before, and I'm like, I don't think it's ever existed in anything. 'Cause at first it didn't look familiar to me yet,
Same. Yeah.
and she's like, no, I've seen that before. Like I think I've seen it in one of your video games, and I'm like, I'm trying to think of what video game I played that had mechs in it, and I'm like, no, like I didn't think of it, and I didn't think anything of it. She's like, I've seen that in one of your games. I know I've seen something like that in one of your video games. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. I don't think it exists anywhere. And all of a sudden, boom, like Twitter's going,
Laser.
the laser, and Twitter's going ape shit, and they're like, oh yeah, it's Zepho technology. It's like, oh my fuck, it makes sense now. Like,
The lasers look the same too. Like I've seen the side-by-side comparison too. This is the Fallen Order connection we were looking
it
for.
really fucking is. And of course, what's stupid is,
Didn't we speculate there would be a Fallen Order connection because like of the release window between like these episodes and the Jedi Survivor book and this Jedi Survivor game?
we've been trying to do a
March?
Fallen Order connection since like Obi-Wan. Since Obi-Wan, we've been trying to do a Fallen.
Andor. Yeah, I know.
Like, we're just hoping. We're just like,
I mean, we got our connection now, right?
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
So, in the most unexpected way possible. So, apparently, so.
I feel bad for the little droid that got taken out. That little guy.
Oh yeah.
Like, I felt bad. She's
What
like,
was the droid's name?
Give me a second. The droid's name is Mel.
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 Mel. Isn't there a Star Wars character named Mel?
Is there?
Ugh. Hold on. Hold on. So,
Yep.
I was gonna send you a link because this is interesting. So this character, Gorismel, in Legends.
Goris Mel. All right. Pulling it up right now. Everyone's seeing
Like,
the behind the
literally
scenes.
there's literally not much about this character. It's just the name just sounded familiar to me. So I
Whoa,
just
hang
had to
on.
look it up.
So yeah, Mel and some of his companions once discovered a treasure cache on the comet Riche 9376 near the Shadowport Point Nadir. He considered the most stunning thing in the cache to be the fell star, an ancient force-imbued pendant. Mel and his companions got drunk while celebrating discovery and started fighting over who would get the most valuable items. Mel was severely injured and was driven away, eventually making his way to Point Nadir. However, he was never able to return the cache to the cache. So, hang on.
That sounds so familiar to this episode's
It does.
plot. Oh, okay. We just made a connection, an unintentional connection there. I mean, I brought this up, so... Wow, I don't think anyone has brought this up before. This is a first.
Not yet. So I'm looking
Not
up
yet,
the super
you're
weapon,
right.
the Walker. It's called Scaranal, which I did not have the name for before. And the only information we have of it, as of now, as of this recording, January 30th, that it's just a super weapon built by the Ancients. So everything about it being Zepho is just assumption. But it looks very goddamn familiar to Zepho technology from what we saw. The heart of the mountain.
According to Wikipedia, the Ancients were also... There's not much information on them as well. Click on their article there. But yeah, very similar to Zepho technology.
It's gotta be, man, because that thing looks very similar. Even to how the Zepho looked, it's very, very, very similar. So what do you think of this, like, this Indiana Jones episode, honestly?
I mean, I wasn't expecting, like, the heart of the mountain to be, like, basically, like, thing to prevent destruction, basically.
A key to a super weapon.
Like, yeah.
like literally,
Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
Like, it was just put there. So it begs the question, if it is Zepho, what was so important about this planet? Who do they fight on this planet? And the thing just destroyed, like, anything that could get off world from the looks of it.
Who knows? I have no clue.
But it was definitely, I mean, I hate to say filler, because you are right. There's some, like, especially with the previous episode with Sid, something in this episode is going to come up a lot later. And it could be a connection
Could
to...
be maybe Fee.
Yeah, something with Fee and possibly
Maybe
Hondo.
they're, like, suspicions about Fee.
That. It could be this weapon, you know what I mean? Like, it could be anything that pops up later on. But it was a fun episode.
Yes.
And I liked how they had to split up and find their way around and do all that stuff. And Omega was figuring this out, little story. It just goes to show, like, one, how capable Omega is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said before...
The fact that she's more engaging with, like, Fee instead of, like, Hunter, like, the way that she, like, mimics, like, Fee's thing and how she fights, similar to how she mimicked Hunter in season 1, is, like, also a very interesting thing to point out.
I honestly think, and like I said before, like, I forgot what episode I said it is, I think Omega's supposed to be an upgrade to the clones. That was her original purpose. Because she has a different personality than any of the clones, but she picks up stuff really goddamn quickly. She has all their traits now, and most of their traits and personality, other than Wrecker, which, you know, she is still picking up, like, the adventurous, spunky side of blowing shit up. You know, she has their traits and some of their gifts as well. And one of the things that, like, Jen noticed in this episode is, like, when that monster, like, showed up, that weird bat creature, like, Omega, without missing a beat, took out her little, like, bow and just started firing at that fucking thing without even, like, oh, I'm scared, Hunter, help me. She's like, nope, and just started, like, launching bolts at this bastard like nothing. So, like, we definitely see her evolve, and we've seen her, like, her character development in, like, all of season 1 and now in this, and we're seeing more of a character development of the clones as well, because I think Now with Hunter, I think he's more cautious not to protect the rest of the Bad Batch because he knows they're capable. He's more cautious because of Omega.
Yes.
And he wants to keep her safe. Like the rest of them, he's like, they'll be fine. They're good. Like I've been with these brothers. I've grew up with them. They're fine. They're good to go. So, and we're seeing more with all of them. So it makes you wonder what's the next character centric episode we'll get. Because the next episode for tomorrow, coming out on Wednesday, is going to be called Tribe, coming out February 1st.
Ooh. What if it's the Gunji episode? The Gunji episode.
It could be. It could be.
I mean, what else has a tribe other than Tuskens on Tatooine?
That's true. I mean, technically Mandalorians, I guess, but they have clans, not tribes.
Yeah, they have clans. Wookiees might have tribes.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, actually,
I don't know.
So I know we looked through the names before in like episode and like when we were talking about the beginning of all this, but next episode is called Tribe. That premieres February 1st, like this Wednesday.
Or it could be, or I mean, they could go back to Cutting Sula Quain, maybe, or I don't know. I'm like thinking, I don't know. Are they gonna go back to Cutting Sue after all this? Probably not. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm looking at all the names.
No, it's about Tuskens because the Boba Fett thing. I mean,
no,
Boba
I honestly,
Fett thing.
I think you're right. It could be Gunji because that makes the most. It makes the most sense. Like Wookiees would have tribes.
Hold on, let's go to Wikipedia and look up tribes. See what kind of tribes there are, because I feel like we'll get a hint, right? Right?
While you're looking that
Should we
up,
look up the word tribe?
I'm looking at like some of the names here, like of the next episodes, and I think if Hondo is going to show up at all, it's going to be episode 12 called The Outpost. Because I feel like
Think it's about Batu
they could be
or
Black Spire. Like it's literally called.
Batu does exist. I mean,
it does.
Right, tribe.
The Clone Conspiracy, Truth and Consequences are premiering February 8th.
Never mind.
Don't be a Star Wars.
I don't think.
Don't be a Star Wars nerd about this. We're looking too deep into it. It's probably just gonna be Gunji, the tribe. Let's not go down a rabbit hole we can't come back from.
No, unless this tribe rebellion or tribe empire is related to something.
Well, like looking at all the different. Okay, so here's all
Tribe
the names
of
coming up.
Ewoks.
Tribe
of Ewoks.
It could be Ewoks. Tribe, the Clone Conspiracy, Truth and Consequences, the Crossing, Retrieval, Metamorphosis, the Outpost, Pabu, Tipping Point, the Summit, Plan 99. That tribe makes the most sense for Gunji, I think. Or even Retrieval, but Retrieval could even be for Omega and them getting her back from Coruscant.
Cody.
Yeah, Cody's running around.
Cody or
stuff.
Rex.
Yeah. Truth and Consequences. That could be Cody.
We're gonna see Rex at some point in the show because we saw him in the trailer.
That's right. I can see them waiting till like the last couple episodes.
I'm trying to remember the trailer footage, and yeah, that's in one of them. So God, we have 2 days to figure this out, or 1 day if you're watching this the day before the next episode premieres. But
I'm gonna go with Gunji. Like I'm gonna go with your first guess. I think it's gonna be
my first. Gunji. Yeah, that's like the most obvious one to me, and I think that might be the case. Who knows? I could be 100% wrong, but who knows?
Favorite part of these 2 episodes, if you had to pick one?
Out of each or out of both?
Whichever's easier for you.
Alright. Well, alright. So it's both about tech, so I mean, I don't know if I have one, honestly. What's yours?
So for episode 4, I just love that they're being Uber Eats drivers, freaking Hunter.
Oh my god,
and
yeah.
Echo. It's too funny because that's literally what they're doing. They want to go pick up takeout for Sid.
Oh, okay, yeah. So my favorite part. So people brought this up on Twitter, like the parallels, but like when Teo gets Regina Georged in episode 4. You know what I'm talking about, right? Regina George, when she gets hit by the bus.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly how Regina George gets hit. So, like, when she's, like, arguing and then she gets hit.
Like, it's
that
funny.
That was really funny and unexpected.
They did foreshadow it, kinda, but it's like, there's not, and all of a sudden, bah! It was pretty good.
I was like, oh no! And I was, like, laughing or something, because it just reminded me of that specific scene. It's so wacky, too. And he's a George, so he might be re-repaired again. Like, I'm not too worried about Teo.
Right.
If he ever makes a reappearance, who knows? I don't know if he'll return, but we'll see.
At the very least, it's going to be his head, at the most.
His head.
Like, his head, like, in a speeder, just, like, talking shit.
Like 3PO in episode 2, where he's like on a battle droid body or something.
You can't tell me.
Which we kind of saw that in the Faster episode, right?
Kinda.
With the one of the racers having like a protocol droid body and I think a battle droid head.
I think so, yeah. But you can't tell me that Wrecker or Omega didn't like steal Teo's head, like. Or even like Sid. Someone took it. It's like,
where was Gonki?
Dude,
in episode
yes!
5?
Like,
bro.
Did they forget to make Gonki for this? Like, did they forget to animate him? Like,
yeah. What happened to Gonki? Where's my boy?
Like, he's not even in the bar, like, serving drinks.
No.
Like, I would expect him to be there.
No, AZ is there, but not Gonki? What happened to him?
Yeah.
I hope he didn't, like, get destroyed off screen. That would be terrible.
Like, did we miss something from season 1? I don't think so.
No. Like, I just want to see him in the background just to make sure he's okay. Like,
Gonk.
Good God. Oh.
So for my related, but for my Saber Guild troop, for my temple, for like for our when we go to like events, we did make like 2 Gonk droids.
Really?
And one's called Gonk, but the smaller one, I don't know why it's stuck. But we do call him Gonky, yes, but we put like a Scottish Shrek voice behind it, Gonky, and it's stuck. Everyone calls him that.
Gonky.
Like, that's Gonk and that's Gonky, and it's stuck, man. I don't know why, but he's Gonky.
Y'all were in the mood for Shrek, weren't you?
It was our buddy Tony. He loves Shrek. He said it, and it just stuck. It just fucking stuck. Gonky.
I honestly like the way that sounds.
Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
And it's good. Everyone calls him that, Gonky. But
We're gonna get like a Shrek type adventure in this show somehow.
I know, right? So you have to go slay the dragon. Well, technically, this episode was.
I mean, they did slay.
Yeah.
They did slay something.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. What I think my favorite part about this episode, like Entombed, was just when the super weapon shows up.
Rampart is Farquaad. I just made a connection. The mental image.
You're right.
Oh no, wait. So is Shrek like Crosshair or some shit?
Shrek is Wrecker. Shrek's definitely. I mean, no, he's very angry. He would be Crosshair.
Fiona. Crosshair's Fiona. Or something. It's like, I don't know, stranded for several days.
Yeah.
And like, and having interest. Yeah, okay, 100%. Yeah.
He was there for like 30 rotations or whatever he said.
Yeah, 30 days.
But Like,
A month.
but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so like, my favorite part in this episode was that when like the machine was like revealed, because that I don't think anybody saw that coming. Like that just you're thinking, treasure. They're gonna open it up and they're gonna find this dope thing, and they're gonna find out like maybe it's a giant kyber
Like,
crystal.
yeah, like Dooku's treasure in episode 1.
Yeah, like who knows? They're gonna like. I mean, they foreshadowed it, yes, but I just didn't expect them to be it be a fucking super weapon that shows up. That I thought was like kind of cool. Like I audibly said, "Oh, like holy shit!" when it just like started walking around like blasting stuff. But good episode. I mean, kind of fillery, kind of not.
What are your predictions? Since I already said mine. For the tribe or tribe.
Also, Gonki centric.
Gonki centric?
Not Gonki centric. Sorry,
for tribe.
Not Gonki centric.
Gunji.
Gunji, thank you. Gunji centric.
I wish it was like there was a Gonki centric episode.
I'm hoping we see a like. I know for a fact that if we do see Hondo, it's going to be in the Outpost, so it's not going to be in this episode. As much as I want to see him in the next one, it's going to be in episode 12.
Yo.
We'll see Hondo if he shows up.
That would break my mind if we see Batu in animation.
Or just see Batu in anything other than a park. Like, to actually see it
I know.
doing stuff.
I mean, we got that in the books with Thrawn and Anakin.
Did we really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like Anakin and Thrawn go to Batu for something. It was like a promotional thing for... Yeah, I forget. Hold on.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Anakin and Thrawn.
I am like, for those of you watching at home, I am totally not versed in novelization. I have fallen behind on the new canon. Like, very, very hard.
Yeah, Anakin and Thrawn joined forces on Batu, and there's actually a whole Wikipedia article dedicated to Mission to Batu.
No shit.
1 second. Yeah, and it's all connected to Thrawn too, which is another interesting thing to point out here also. Huh. This was like Clone Wars era also. This is also Clone Wars era, so Batu was like already around and Padme was there, of course.
No shit. So it stayed doing its thing this whole time. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's in the Thrawn book, Thrawn Ascendancy. And also Thrawn Alliances.
Good to know. Okay. Definitely gonna link that.
Yeah.
If it's not
Thrawn
linked, let us know.
Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, and Thrawn Alliances.
So we've had it this whole time.
I will also send you the links.
In novelization. So yeah, at least I'm hoping, yeah, I'll go with that. In Outpost, we should see Black Spire. For Tribe, next episode coming up on February 1st. I don't know. Other than like Gunji showing up, I honestly don't know. Maybe some droid pirates, I guess. I don't know. They're really going heavy on the pirate stuff this season. Maybe a Cad Bane showing up? Nah, I doubt it. I'm just throwing names out there.
I mean, he could reappear.
He could.
I mean, he's still alive and kicking up until Book of Boba Fett.
Allegedly.
Spoiler alert.
Allegedly. He was old, but he could have survived. Allegedly. So. From the desert comes a stranger. But anywho, unless we missed anything, I think that pretty much covers it for this episode, my friends. Let us know what you think in the comments below, what your favorite parts were about these 2 episodes, and what do you think about all the celebration news that we mentioned tonight? Like,
oh my gosh,
do you think we're going to see Daisy Ridley show up and probably announce some new sequel era
I hope so.
stuff?
I hope so.
Are we possibly get some new shows?
Oscar Isaac, hopefully.
I know, but I really, my boy, we did John Boyega so dirty. Just bring him back. Let him do something.
Him and Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, she needs some more shit. Bring them all back. Do some cool shit.
Right.
Let's make a new Big Bad. Like, because there's like so much lore about.
We can't really bring back Kylo Ren or Ben Solo.
I mean,
unfortunately.
I mean, we could technically.
Yeah.
He could be
Yeah.
cloned, because cloning is still a thing now. So,
Oh God.
but
The cloning thing.
I know somehow the Emperor has returned, but like,
Ugh. I just want a new big bad. I don't want another like some interesting big bad. Like I don't know how they're going to do it, but I just want a new big bad
same.
that isn't already.
Or even like how, just something simple like how Maz Kanata got Luke's lightsaber. Something simple like.
Yeah, what the heck? We never got an explanation for that at all.
Unless it's in the novelization or comics, as far as I know, we never
Not
got
as
shit.
far as I know. Not as far as I know.
J.J. Abrams just basically did it. Here, do something with this, and like no one ever did. So, I don't know.
Story for another time. Not.
Exactly. But anywho, friends, let us know what you think about everything below, about the news we dropped tonight, what these episodes were about. If you guys want to find us on the social medias, you can find us on Twitter at Ilum Radio, Instagram at Ilum Radio, TikTok at Ilum Radio. If you want to send us a specific idea you want us to talk about on the show, send us an email to ilumradiopodcast@gmail.com. And if they want to find you directly, Millie, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at me_Halprin and Instagram at Millie_Halprin.
If you guys want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at TheBeardedMenace, right there, TheBeardedMenace. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, I am Dave Bearded Menace. I'm also Dave Bearded Menace on TikTok. I'm actually posting stuff on there now. And if you want to hang out with Millie and I during a live stream on my Twitch channel, it's twitch.tv/Dave Bearded Menace. You'll find Millie occasionally in chat, completely derailing shit every now and then. Like, hey, guess what I found out?
Me announcing breaking news.
Exactly. Like, hey, guess what just popped in Star Wars land? And it's like, oh, fuck. Or like, guess who said they're going to be here and voice this? Oh, shit. And like, I sound like I'm upset about it, but I never am. Because, we love talking about this shit. So
Guess what's coming out at midnight instead of 3 a.m.?
that was fun.
That was a very interesting night indeed.
Yeah, it was. I stayed up much longer than I should have that night.
Same.
Anyway, friends, that is it for us. As always, hit us up on the socials. And as always, again, be easy, stay frosty, and may the Force be with you guys. Peace.